I was standing in front of the venue in Chicago, right? It was a 500 cap room, and I looked at the box office statement, and then I looked at the cardboard boxes we had stacked behind the merch table, and the math just completely broke my brain. We're talking 30 to 50% of the total touring income for an indie run is just coming from those boxes. If you're in a 500 cap room, you should be pulling like $8 to $12 in merch revenue per paid head. Every single person walking through that door is a potential $12 bill, man.
Wait, $12 a head? Calvin, that's wild because most people think the ticket is where you make the bag. But after the door split, the booking agent taking their 10%, the venue taking their piece of the door, you might only be taking home $3 or $4 profit on a $25 ticket.
Exactly. The ticket money is basically just paying for the gas and the hotel rooms at that level. I mean, as a currency guy, I look at the velocity of that cash. If you sell out that 500 cap room and you hit that $10 a head average, that's $5 grand cash straight in the bag before you even talk about the guarantee. You move up to a 1,500 cap room, even if the average dips slightly to $8 to $10 a head because of the crowd density, you're still looking at $12,000 to $15,000 in high margin cash flow in a single night. That is the difference between a promotional tour that drains your bank account and an actual sustainable business.
But the thing is, you gotta stay lit to survive, right? And you can't be lit if you treat the merch table like an afterthought, like some little side table with a dusty ass tablecloth and a Sharpie. The show itself, the actual performance, is just the commercial. The merch table is the cash register where they actually buy the product. If they love the music, they want a piece of that experience to take home. They want to own a piece of you.
That's a fax. But what actually moves, though? Because I see artists ordering all these crazy items like custom embroidered windbreakers and lighter cases, and then they're just hauling those boxes from city to city, hurting their backs, and nobody's buying.
Oh man, I made that mistake early on. I spent like 3 grand on these custom dyed heavyweight hoodies with this super intricate sleeve embroidery because they looked incredible on my Instagram feed. But on the road, in the middle of July, nobody wants to drop $80 on a heavy hoodie when they're sweating through their shirt. What actually sells after a set is the immediate connection. The classic tour specific tee with the dates on the back. They want the shirt that says, I was there. We sold out of the standard $35 black tee in 3 days, while those fancy $80 hoodies just sat in the trailer, taking up space and getting damp. You have to design for the post-show adrenaline rush, not for an online boutique.
And speaking of those margins, the contract side is where artists get absolutely slaughtered if they aren't paying attention. The venue merch cuts. In the US, major club venues will routinely slide a clause into the contract demanding 15 to 25% of your gross merch sales. Think about that. You bought the blanks, you paid the screen printer, you hauled the boxes, and they want a quarter of the top line just for letting you set up a table. But here's the play. Under a 300 cap room, you can almost always get that fee waived if you negotiate it up front. You have to scratch that clause out of the contract before you sign it.
You gotta read the fine print, man. If you don't cross that out, you're basically paying the venue's electric bill with your t-shirt sales. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's also about how you manage the risk of that inventory. You can't just drop 10 grand on shirts and hope for the best. The smartest indie setups I'm managing right now, they use a hybrid model. They do about 35% print on demand for the online store so they never hold dead stock. Then they do 30% bulk ordered, high quality tour exclusives for the physical table and 35% vinyl. That way, you aren't betting the entire tour's survival on one massive print run.
And that vinyl, man, vinyl is a different beast. Fans will buy vinyl even if they don't own a turntable. It's like a giant, beautiful physical art piece. We sell our vinyl for $40. It costs us maybe $12 to press, jacket, and shrink wrap if we do a run of 1,000. That's a massive margin. But you have to be smart about where you drive the traffic when you aren't on the road, like Bandcamp Fridays On those days, Bandcamp waives their revenue share, returning about 93% of the sale directly to the artist. Compare that to the standard 85% on regular days, or worse, the tiny fractions of a cent you get from streaming. We did a push last month on a Bandcamp Friday, just selling a limited edition colorway of our latest vinyl, and cleared 6 grand in 24 hours. That paid for our entire van rental for the upcoming fall run.
Let's look at the actual unit economics of this, because this is where the business becomes beautiful. A standard high quality bulk screen tee costs you maybe $7 to $9 to produce if you're ordering 500 at a time. You sell that at the table for $30 to $35. That is a 60 to 75% profit margin. Tote bags, you can buy those canvas blanks for $2, screen print your logo for 50 cents, and sell them for $15. That's over an 80% margin. These aren't just souvenirs. These are high-yield financial instruments that fund your independent career. When you own the masters, you own the designs, and you own the direct relationship with the fans at the table. Nobody can put a ceiling on your business.
That's what I'm talking about. Keep it independent, keep the margins high, and keep that table packed. Good chatting, y'all. Let's go get these boxes loaded.